Hi, my name is Anna Westerling and I'm the main organizer of Stockholm Scenario Festival, a festival for short LARP, freeform games, role-playing games, deepform games, etc. You can find us at www.scenariofestival.se. Anyhow, this is a short introduction video on how to game master. So, how do you game master a game? Well, firstly, what is a game? Well, a game generally consists of 3 parts. You have the setup, and then you have the actual game, and then lastly you have the after talk. These are the parts that you're going to do when you game master a game. Okay, so firstly, the setup. What is this? Well, the setup is, as the name says, the setup of the game, where you tell the players what kind of game this is, what you're going to do. You distribute the characters, you might do physical exercise, or you might talk about the setting or any kind of techniques that you're going to use in this game. This is generally described very good by the writer of the scenario. If the writer has generally written, like, first I want you this, then I want you that, then I want you that. For example, if we look at the game I Say a Little Prayer by Torsäter Edland, you can read that he first wants you to do an introductory round where you and all the players talk and introduce yourself and talk about your relationship with the topic of the game. Then he wants you to talk about the setting. Where is this game? Where are we? And then he wants you to distribute the characters. And it says exactly how you should do this. And then he wants you to do some warm-up exercises. And he also got it quite clear, like you should do this, this, and that. So, for the setup, it's generally just to follow the recipe, as said in the scenario. If you get a scenario where you feel, oh, I'm missing a setup, I don't know what to do, you can always email the writer and ask him or her, or you can just make it up yourself. Sometimes you may want to, during the setup, do some improvisation. If you feel like you have very tired players, you might want to start off with some kind of physical exercise to get them on their toes. But this is totally up to you. But there is generally in the game a recipe for how to do, so you can follow it very easily. Okay, so that was first part, setup. Where do we come next? Yes, we come to the middle one, the actual game. So, the actual game generally, again, this can be very different from different games, but generally it consists of scenes. And where you as a game master, you set the scenes. You say, I want this type of scene and I want it now. And what should you remember to always say when you set a scene? Well, there's 3 simple guidelines. You should tell them where they are. Are we in a factory? Are we at a coffee shop? Are we in the late 17th century, or are we in Roman time? Where are we? Where? And then you should talk about who is there. Is there soldiers? Are there sisters? Who are the roles involved in this? This is generally set by the characters, but who will be in this scene? So, for example, just to combine these 2. Where and who? Okay, where? We're at a coffee shop. Who is there? The two sisters. And there might be a younger and an older sister. Okay, so we know where we are and who is there. And also, if these sisters are in this scenario, there might be extra information about them in their characters. So, who are? But is this enough to set the scene? No. Or it could be. For simplification, we need the why. Why are we here? So we have the 2 sisters, again, who meet at this coffee shop. And why are they here? Well, one of them is going to tell the other one that she has got an amazing new job offer and going to move away, far, far away from them. So it will be both happy and sad scene, generally, if they are friends. It could be that they are really not getting along, so the other one is like, yay, you're moving away. I don't know, but this is the ones. And to get another example, where we are we are at a school. Who? We have the teacher and the student. Why? The teacher is going to tell the student that his grades or her grades isn't that good as to be expected, that he has to work harder. So this is generally the three basics to set any scene at any point. Where, who, and why. And of course, it can be different in different scenarios. So you read the scenarios you have, but this gives you quite a good clue and quite some good tools. Okay, so that was the second part, the game. Now we've gone through all the different scenes of the game. There's usually a play scene 1 with this, scene 2 with this, and so on. Okay, so that was the game. Then we come to aftertalk. Aftertalk is also generally specified in the scenario, in the text that the writer wants you to, that everybody gets talks about something or they want you to do something. And if not, you can always fall back to do a round and let everyone express their feelings about the game. Games can be also very different. Some are very emotional. You might want to do more aftertalk. Some are really yeah, let's go out. Be ready. So, but you can always do a round, or you can always see what is in the scenario. Okay, so that was the how to game master a game with the setup, game, and aftertalk. But I have some general advice also. Some of you, I've heard people are scared, but this is it. In general, you are 5 people in a room. If something shits up, redo. We all understand, if you made a mistake, redo. And generally, that's also a good idea. You can just redo a scene if you don't feel it works. So don't be scared, just have fun with it. And also, when you and these other 4 people, 5, or it can sometimes be a little bit more, but generally 5, enters this room, you are the one in charge. You own this scenario. So if you feel the writer has written something you don't know, or you don't like, or you don't think work, you are allowed to change. You are allowed to ignore, because it's you who see the other 4 players and know what could work for them. You could, of course, also follow very strictly. That's also okay. So there's no right or wrong, but it's totally okay to change stuff. Yeah. Or to do what you see fit, because you know the group. Okay, and we have some bonus stuff here also as well. So also stuff that you could want to do during the game when you do scenes are use different meta techniques. I'm just going to give you 3 simple advice here. This is totally bonus, so you don't need it. But we have 3. We have the inner monologue. That is when you ask the player to express what the character thinks aloud. For example, if someone has been dumped by his girlfriend and the character sits and crying, it could be a good scene, but we don't really know. We don't really know what the character is thinking. So then you want to say in a monologue, and he says, "Oh, I feel so bad. It was all my fault. I should have been nicer to her," or whatever it might be. So in a monologue is a good way to lift up the feelings of the character. That what does the character think inside? Okay. Second one, as I said before, redo. And this could be helpful if you do a scene and it doesn't really work. Do it again, because usually the players think a bit, so then they can okay, but I want to do this. So this can make scenes stronger. And also, if you go back to this relationship scene that we just did where someone broke up with someone, it could be, if it didn't feel that much the first time, you could just redo it. So she gets to dump him 3 times and he gets to feel super horrible about it. If this theme is somehow about getting dumped. Okay, so that's always an option to redo a scene, and it's never wrong. Okay, last one. Time jump. Of course, in a scenario such as this one, you don't have. It's not like in a LARP where time is linear. You can jump forward and backward. So that's no problem if you want to you can go, if you have two people who should fall in love instead, you can say, okay, you're in the library now, you're talking, and they go like, hi, hi, and you feel like, okay, this scene needs a bit more. So you say, 1 week later, he has read the book she recommended. And then they go and he says, oh, I read this book that you recommended. It was so good. And he's like, yeah, I really liked it. And then like, ah. And then the players might themselves like, okay, but you should read this one as well. And you go like, 1 week later, you have read this one too. So you can like jump ahead in time to make stuff go, to enforce things and make stuff go quicker. Okay, so those were the 3 bonus things. Inner monologue, redo, and time jump. More of meta techniques you can also read on www.jpen.org. I'll post the link below also. Okay, so but generally, the 3 parts of the game: setup, game, aftertalk. And read the scenario and you'll do great. Thank you very much.